Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Unpopular K-pop opinions because SSERAFIM disrespected Mexicans.
Insufficient fund. You ain't got no money.
Who's
that's
that?
J
J-Hud?
Hud.
How dare
Yeah.
SSERAFIM
I thought so too. I thought it
Yeah.
was J-Hud. Yeah.
disrespect Mexican culture like that? During their Mexico stop on the tour, the girls came out wearing sombreros and
How
ponchos for a
come,
quick segment.
how come they're still talking about this?
She
I thought it
hasn't
was
covered it.
resolved.
She
Oh,
hasn't
she
covered it.
hasn't covered it.
Just dancing, smiling, serving what they thought was local flavor, no accents, no caricature, no fake mustaches or mocking skits, just costumes. And in seconds, it lit Twitter on fire. One side was like, this is racist and appropriative. Another side, including actual Mexican fans in the replies, were like, girl chill, we thought it was cute. And then came the real chaos, non-Mexicans trying to colonize Mexican discourse about their own culture. Mocking requires intent. It requires ridicule. You can't just yell appropriation every time someone wears traditional clothing. You need context. Was there exaggeration? Was there a punchline? Was there a slur? Was the
And
culture being
also
turned into a
how
costume
it's
for the
presented at first, because when the T channels they presented at first, it's like, oh my god, it could be possible that people can be offended, and then they wait, like they make you outraged until they say, oh, but the people in the community, they're not even offended about it. So I say, why couldn't you just leave it that first, you know?
Yeah,
And then you don't have a story.
I think with cases like that, we
Uh,
have to wait and see what the
Yeah.
people involved have to say. Because for us sitting on the sidelines watching this, I don't,
I have not a clue.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Mexican. I don't know if I told you from my perspective they did that to my culture, I wouldn't be of him. But that's not the hero did. They didn't do it to
Yeah,
my culture.
but it doesn't matter for you, because maybe you understand in your culture. Maybe for others it can be different. Because you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of when the groups, in South Korean culture, they wear those big dresses.
Oh,
For I forgot the holiday. Sorry for C.
Chuseok.
Chuseok.
Yeah, Chuseok.
But I think that was more upon like, oh, who can do it? Who can do it? It's who's copying who, as opposed to it being offensive to do it. But I would think it doesn't matter who did it first. If it's part of the culture, it should be open for everybody.
Yeah.
So that was like the lens I was walking in when I first saw this situation, because the South Korean netizens, they're very, very tough. But this is not the South Korean netizens. This is like,
Yeah, I think
this is
just
global.
the haters. Yeah, they're haters.
Well, I guess global haters, domestic haters, all the haters.
the sake of laughs. None of that happened here. They didn't clown. They didn't imitate accents. They didn't make Mexican fans the butt of the joke. The entire thing looked like a standard we dressed up for the local audience moment, which K-pop groups have done for years in literally every country they step foot in.
Maybe it was just a phase. Valspar Ultra.
A fan service ritual at this point. So no, I don't think Les Seraphim was mocking Mexican people. At worst, they played into a very surface level overused stereotype, but it wasn't with malicious intent, and at best, it was a sincere, albeit shallow attempt to connect with the crowd, to say, hey, we see you. Do I think there are more meaningful, respectful ways to incorporate culture than just throwing on a poncho from Party City and calling it a tribute? Yes. But do I think this moment deserved the label of
Yeah, I
racist?
agree.
Not even close. So many of the loudest people were not even Mexican. Just keyboard warriors waiting.
What we've seen artists too is that if they're in like a local area, they sing like a local star song.
Yeah.
That would have been a better tribute. That would have been better.
Yeah, like the Western acts when they like Dua Lipa, Måneskin, I think those two come to mind. Whenever they go to a place, they do a cover of like one of the biggest or like a major artist from that city. So
You know
like
who's good at doing that? And mix. That's why they have such a strong Latin Spanish fan base, because they go over and they sing a song in Spanish, and they're like, oh my god,
yeah,
that's
but
impressive.
so like Dua Lipa in Canada, we saw she did a Nelly Furtado song. Yeah,
I
so
didn't know Nelly Furtado was Canadian.
yeah, she is. So yeah, like I think that's a good way to show respect, show appreciation to the culture. But the ponchos and the hats, I don't.
I think if you go to Canada, you should sing like Celine Dion. She's Canadian.
I
Yeah,
believe she's like
Canadian,
Swiss
French.
Canadian or something. I don't know.
to swing the cultural
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking Swiss because she represented Switzerland in Eurovision. I don't think she's Swiss. I think she's Canadian.
appropriation bat the second they see a sombrero. Like baby, who appointed you cultural gatekeeper of Latin America? Sit down, listen, because if actual Mexicans are debating among themselves whether it was cute or cringe, that's their lane. You, the white 17-year-old from New Jersey, do not need to weigh in. Shut up and let people from the actual culture process it on their terms. And yes, before anyone gets cute in the replies, I'm very aware I've talked about black culture before too. No, I'm not black, and I've never claimed to speak for black people. But I know the difference between genuine influence and aesthetic theft with no context. I've pointed out moments that felt arrogant, performative.
But it is a little tough because, like, if the haters are doing it, yeah, they're doing it to hate, whatever. But so she's saying the white 17-year-old doing it is a problem. Well, the white 17-year-old might genuinely believe it was disrespect, though, because even when it comes to like black issues, if only black people cared about it and there was no white allies, that fight wouldn't have gone nowhere. The reason the fight went somewhere because there was white people that also allied and helped the black people. So to dismiss and say, oh, white people have no businesses is also kind of not true, because if only Mexicans were offended, then and nobody else was, people would just say, oh, whatever, Mexicans just don't know what they do. It doesn't work. It's a thin line. It's a very thin line. You can't just dismiss. I mean, obviously in this case it was mostly probably like the SSERAFIM haters, so that's that, but I'm just saying you can't dismiss a white person kind of trying to help the cause, though.
Yeah, it's just if it's genuine.
Yeah. But I'm saying we don't know if those people are genuinely thought it was offensive.
Because it could be
They could,
overprotective,
right,
you know.
Right. Yeah. So you can't say like, oh, white person can't fight this fight. No, because if there is a fight to fight, you want the majority, people in the majority, to help you fight. So it's tough. It's a very
I think
thin
you
line.
can't just hijack a cause and you lead if the people affected is not making complaints.
Right.
It's
right,
like
yeah.
when we see these stars, like, oh, J-Hope is in trouble or V is in trouble. Did he come out and say he was in trouble? Did he ask for help?
Right.
No. Let the people have autonomy.
Or plain lazy, because they were, and I know not every black fan agrees with me. Some told me straight up, stop talking about our culture. You're spreading misinformation. I heard that. But respectfully, cultural conversations don't start and end with a permission slip. I'm not here to act like a spokesperson. I'm here to observe what's
It's
being
just-
sold to the masses and question who it's profit.
I think it's pick and choose, because I've seen, okay, we go so hard on one group, but then we recently seen G Idol solo drop
Yeah, Yuki.
with
MO.
Yuki, and we see like gunshots to the back. We see
Yeah,
no one said not one word.
I'm
not
very
one word.
surprised how
I'm
one
gagged.
channel was even
Everyone
talking
was
about
mute.
Yuki's music video. That was
So that to make me not take, I don't know, these channels as serious, because they really selective cherry picking
they
who
only
they
doing
go.
what's popular on
and say-
TikTok, Twitter, it seems like. Because I feel like Yuki's MO's music video was probably the most
Problematic.
offensive that I've seen in K-pop.
Yeah.
Like the sagging pants, it's whatever, it's ignorance. But the gunshots to the back, that's literally basically saying, oh, black people just kill each other. Like that's literally what that music video said, and nobody's talking about it. So to me, it's, I don't know, that music
I'm
video was the most
surprised.
offensive
I'm
out of all K-pop music videos we've
surprised.
seen. Because
Yes,
the
it's
sagging
very
pants, the do-rags,
straightforward.
it's appropriation, but that is not equal to saying, basically implying, oh, black people kill each other, like black on black crime. Like that is.
I
don't
apologize
know.
if I sound funny, guys.
Profiting from, who it's erasing, and why it feels off. Here's the thing. Not all representation is appreciation, but not all representation is mockery either. And we're losing that nuance fast. Online, it's either full-blown racism or you're too sensitive. There's no middle ground anymore. The second someone puts on something cultural, boom, it's war. But words mean things. If we're gonna scream appropriation at every attempt at cultural engagement, even the respectful, well-intentioned ones, we're diluting the meaning of actual harmful behavior. And the people who do mock cultures, they get to hide behind the noise. This SSERAFIM moment wasn't perfect. It could have gone deeper, done better.
If you're out and about traveling Florida's toll roads, there's a little thing you should have that can save you loads.
But don't twist what happened into some racial hate crime. It was surface-level fan service. 2. Let's go straight into the copyright courtroom, because the court's plagiarism allegations are dragging them through a creative credibility graveyard. And no, the car crash isn't slowing down. At this point, even the brakes are plagiarized. No statements from the producers, no clarification from Hybe. Just Twitter comparison threads growing like mold on expired hype. The receipts are receding in the silence? Borderline guilty. Let's break it all the way down. First up, Go versus Travis Scott's Fine. Listen, if you played both of them back to back at a party, Your drunk
Wait,
uncle wouldn't even notice the switch. So
they're taking it to court, or is this is just
No, this is just Twitter, but
oh.
same thing as we said. Until there is, legal action, we can't say
Mm-hmm.
plagiarism because could just be sampling.
I also think this is almost like a rite of passage. This happens to many artists when they first come out to see, okay, how legit are they?
I don't know, Rochelle.
You don't think that's a rite of passage?
This is not right. Like literally, this is the most blatant similarities we have seen in K-pop.
But if it passed the test
No, if
of
they,
not being plagiarized,
yeah, no, I'm saying
then you
if-
can't say it's plagiarized.
if they sample, they got the rights to use. It's fine. I'm just saying, like, if you said like, oh, this was a copy paste, like these.
You would believe it?
Courtesis is the
Oh.
most copy paste songs. Like literally, one of the first things in the reactions when we heard it, we was like, oh, this sounds like that. Like that's one of the first, and it's not like, oh, it was sampled. There's hints, so there's like literally copy paste. Like even like the Post Malone circles, we were sitting there. I was like, Post Malone, what song Post Malone? I think I said one song. Like, no, this is completely circles. And I was like, oh, you're right. And it is like, come on.
Close, same stripped back 808, same mantra chant vibe, same energy of we didn't write a chorus. We just shouted a vibe into a hallway mic. And this ain't a genre similarity thing. It's the same creative skeleton. Minimal beat? Check.
Like for example, Baby Monster's Hot Sauce. We sat there, oh, sounds like from the '90s, like TLC, whatever. Like, but it sounds like that vibe. It's not like we're not saying, oh, it's this song from that group. Like with Cortez's songs, you can literally pick a song and say, this is the song. Like exactly the same thing.
Monotone chanting?
But
Double check.
if they pass the test, they were able to accomplish that sound for less. Because the team that took to make that song for those stars, it could have been a very expensive.
Yeah, we can't say plagiarism until there's lawsuits. So that's that. Doesn't mean anything. They have to sue if there is any. Because for all we know, it really could just be they paid Travis Scott, they paid Post Malone, or the producers, and they're using it. So,
It's not inspired, it's a sibling, possibly conjoined. Then we've got Fashion versus ASAP Rocky's Praise the Lord. Now this one's sneakier. Less obvious, more cadence crime. The beats might not be twins, but they're definitely sleeping in the same bed. The groove, the bounce, the flow style, it's giving vocal swagger theft. Cortis might have changed the words, but the rhythm is sitting on Rocky's lap. We've seen this too many times in K-pop. The copy the cadence, not the lyrics loophole, cute trick, but still a trick. Joyride versus Post Malone circles is where the crowd gets split. Some say, hey, that's just pop structure. Everyone uses it, and they're kind of right. But here's the thing. If your whole brand is being innovative, why the heck are you leaning on the most rinsed, washed-out chord progression in modern music? Like, yes, Post Malone didn't invent sad boy acoustic trip-hop or whatever, but the atmosphere and arrangement overlap is suspiciously familiar. If I can hum the entire first verse of Circles while Joyride is playing in the background, your originality just face-planted. But here's the real reason Cortis is getting absolutely cooked for this. It's because Hybe had the audacity to sell them as teenage genius creators. Every inch of their marketing, every Wever's post, every interview screamed, we're different, we're raw, we're self-made, we're producing, we're directing, we're building.
They do, like, when you watch the vlogs, you see they look like they're very like special, and since they have confidence to put together arrangements and try to make a flow and develop that. It's just we don't know how organic the beats are made because we don't see them make the beats from scratch. We see like after they have the beats and everything, and they're like putting it together. Like we see not the ground work. We see kind of like when it's at a phase close to finishing, close to cleanup. So maybe if they showcase that, then people can give them more credibility.
Beyonce. So when half your debut EP sounds like it was surgically extracted from rappers that your innovative sound clearly worships, people aren't gonna clap, they're gonna clown. Because if you're gonna play the self-producing
Then
visionary
again,
card,
do
don't
they
come
want
the
to
table with
show
somebody-
their process to everyone, how they start from scratch to make their songs? I don't know.
else's dinner? That young visionary branding cuts both ways. You don't get to duck behind, we're just rookies. It's not our fault when things hit the fan if you already told us you were the masterminds. If you're taking credit for the creative direction, you're also taking heat when that direction looks like a Travis Scott fanfic.
Gold Bond believes touch says everything. It says, I see you.
And listen, I get it. K-pop's been copying Western hip-hop for years. Third Gen built an entire subgenre out of shouting over beats. half of 4th-gen boy group releases sound like bootleg Cardi cosplays. But Cordis? Cordis went harder. They turned the inspiration knob until it broke off. And sure, maybe there's no legal grounds to sue them. No direct sample proof. But honey, the court of public perception is louder than a lawyer, and it's currently throwing tomatoes. The irony? The whole selling point of Cordis was supposed to be their freshness, their newity, their non-popness, and yet half the fandom is sitting here like, babe, I've heard all of this before, and better. Because if your debut EP is 60% swagger-jacked vibes from
Well, as I said, I think for Korean population, I think this is fresh. I don't know if the Post Malone's, Circles, Travis Scott's, Fiends, ASAP Rocky's, what's that song? Whatever the song was.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, there you go. If those songs have reached South Korea, like in terms of like the radio play, and so for them, I do think this, because this is different from the rest of the K-pop, It's very Western, just with some Korean in there, lyrics. So I think for Koreans, it is a very fresh sound. I do agree with that.
Spotify's rap playlist,
Which
then
is
what are
why
you
I
bringing
think
to the
it
table?
can be misleading, because if this is the first time they're hearing it, they're gonna say, "Oh, this is them,"
Right, yeah.
and
yeah.
so in the future, it could lead to these situations. Oh, this person is copying them.
A better haircut? This doesn't even have to be about plagiarism. It's about whether fans can buy into your concept without feeling like they're being sold TikTok or reruns in a different language. Because once the originality myth starts cracking, your whole narrative collapses. You can't sell me we're different when you're just doing Travis Light over ASAP hand-me-downs. So no, I'm not calling it plagiarism, but I am calling it embarrassingly derivative, lazy as heck, and an artistic L for a group that should have been leading with raw personality instead of regurgitated aesthetics. 3. Are we entering a new era of long-term survival groups? Cause after the final group of boys 2 Planet got revealed, turns out they're not debuting till early 2026, and they're signed for 5 whole years, double the usual Mnet contract, and plot twist, they also got a non-exclusive clause, which means members can do solo stuff on the side, that came out of nowhere. Like, 101 had what, 1.5 years? IZ*ONE lasted 2.5 years and dipped after extension talks went nowhere. ZB1's contract ends January 2026, and there were reports last month about them maybe renewing. But Wake One came out the next day like we didn't say that. So yeah, talks are happening, but nothing's locked in, and with Yuehua holding 4 of the top boys, I don't see them staying. X1 was actually supposed to have a 5-year plan too, first half exclusive, second half flexible, but then the rigging scandal nuked the whole thing, and now here comes Alpha Drive 1 basically recycling that same model. So why the sudden switch to 5-year deals? Short answer, CJENM finally got tired of throwing away IP after 2 summers. Long answer, money. You spend all this time and cash building a group on TV just to ditch them after 30 months? Dumb. 5 years gives them time to milk touring, merch, brand deals, all that. They also realize they gotta lock people in from the start, because once the 2.5-year clock runs out, the popular members are usually out the door. And the non-exclusive part? That's just to keep the home companies from pulling their trainees. It's literally you can still make money off your boy, just let us keep him in the group. No more hostage situations, less drama. And honestly, it might work, because fans are way more likely to commit if the group doesn't feel like a temporary project with an expiration date. But let's not act like it's all sunshine. It's still messy. Coordinating 8 kids under different companies is a nightmare. Are we about to get IOI 2.0?
imagine.
Flashback to when companies yanked their girls mid-promos to debut their own groups and fans were pissed. And IOI barely lasted 8 months. Labels couldn't even wait that long. So I'm really curious how this plays out. But if anything, it's gonna be exhausting for the boys. For Ishuga's return to Instagram after a 2-year silence is the messiest silent post we've seen in a while. No caption. Just a moody aesthetic dump of guitar and shadows like nothing happened. Except the
I
internet
wonder
remembers. And the shadow?
if it's different from like his posts previously. Like if his post has always been like, okay, not too much in the caption, very moody.
Hanging over that artsy warehouse photo shoot? Yeah, it's his DUI from last year, that little electric scooter chaos in August 2024 that ended with his license yanked, a fine and a handwritten sorry note where he promised to live with the regret. And oh, how quickly they forgot, or didn't. Because as soon as that post went up on September 22nd, the timeline lit up like a Christmas tree in Satan's house. Half the crowd was like King is back, and the other half was like, oh, so now it's moody thirst traps after a DUI? As if the man rolled up to a car crash crime scene in St. Laurent and whispered, I've suffered enough. It's giving court-mandated introspection. But with lighting and angles, some fans were gagging at the audacity of the soft lighting. Others were gagging at how hot he looked despite everything. Either way, the gag was loud, and then reports started flying that the post was being age-restricted or shadow banned. Suddenly everyone was screaming Instagram is sabotaging Youngie, like we were. Watching a digital assassination in real time, fans tried boosting the post, sharing it, commenting, reposting like their lives depended on it. We've seen this before. Whenever there's controversy, the fandom activates its war mode. But no one really knows what happened. Maybe it was mass reporting by haters. Maybe Instagram's glitchy AI flagged a black shirt and guitar as adult content. Maybe Mercury was just in retrograde and the start said, no engagement for you, we don't know. But the Fact that there was no concrete cause only made it messier, because speculation loves a vacuum, and the fandom filled that thing like it was a group project. And just when you thought it couldn't get any dumber, Miss Jenny Kim enters the villa, yes, as if Suga's Instagram comeback wasn't chaotic enough. The internet decided to throw gasoline on the fire with a Jenny liked and then unliked the post narrative. Like clockwork, people were screen recording, screenshotting, zooming in on pixelated usernames like they were in a digital forensics class taught by TMZ. Spoiler alert, no hard proof, no receipts from her account, just messy aggregator accounts recycling each other's mess. Could it be real?
What's the? I don't get that.
So what she's saying is Jenny liked the post and then I liked it, but there's no proof, so I don't. As far as age restriction, that's interesting. I never particularly heard that. I guess maybe because of if the comments were like really harsh, they restricted for the comments. But that's kind of interesting. But that basically means that you can really, if you just hate someone enough, you can kind of disrupt their
Shadow ban them in a way.
shadow ban them by leaving not rude, but probably like explicit comments or whatever. That kind of is unfair.
Sabotage.
Yeah, basically Instagram allows for sabotage. That isn't. I've never heard of that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, this is my first.
Wow.
Sure. Could it be fake? Absolutely. Is it any of our business? Probably not. But did that stop people from turning this into a shipping conspiracy? Baby, never underestimate the power of a fan with too much time and a Samsung screen recorder. So here we are, a captionless carousel turns into a PR minefield. The DUI didn't just vanish, it's baked into the comeback narrative now. Whether armies want it there or not, people will keep dragging it out.
I do think you should address it in music. That would be
Yeah.
good. That'd be good.
Because honestly, at some point, we should do that because then he cannot be seen out like drinking because this is going to be a conversation until it's like properly addressed.
I think you should address it in music. Why not? That gives like something to talk about.
You know, this reminds me when the housewives get caught for drinking and driving. When they come back on the show and they are drinking at a party, they look at the person. Are they gonna drink? Should you be drinking? Maybe that's not a good look for you to drink. I feel like it's the same thing. Okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.